Hi all. Right, welcome back to more Labyrinth, The Awakening, playing the Arab Spring scenario solo. This is part 8. Okay, so I wasn't sure I was going to get a shot tonight, and I wasn't too fussed, to be honest, because I knew I had to come up and look at all these horrible cards again. Um, yeah, and then I thought, right, well, let's sit for a while before you hit record and have a look and see if you can come up with any ideas. And it's just such a cringe looking at these jihadist cards and knowing the pain that this is going to cause me. Um, I know I can play this one, and that's only one. The other four are going to trigger. I know I can play this, so I thought, you know what, let's just play this now and do something good, and then worry about the rest after that. I've got to go and play a second card. Of course, I thought about smartphones here, but smartphones needs to go where there's an event or operation in the country, and I was actually thinking about using Pirates, which is the jihadist card for 2 ops, and I thought initially, and I thought, no, I don't think I'm going to get enough. I'm not going to get any modifiers for it, but I am getting a +1 in this, I think. Thought about having a war of ideas in here. This is still at -1. That's another -1. That's -2. I'd be trying to go to good, so that's -3, which cancels out our 3 awakening markers, which is 0. However, we've got an adjacent good ally now, which, yeah, well, there was something else about that was kind of annoying. What was it? I can't remember. Anyway, so we would get a +1, which isn't too bad considering. I mean, I did think, could we get this moved up before doing that and then get a +2 out of it? A +1's not bad. You need a 5 or a 6, or a 4's not the worst scenario where you get an aid marker. So a 4 would be a 3 roll. Ideal, I'm looking for a 4 roll up and up to a 5. But anyway, and then I'm looking at the other cards that are in my favour. Sorry, right, I got a message there. Okay, the other cards that are in my favour, NATO, I'm not really sure where to put that. I mean, the global war and terror penalty is 0 at the moment. No, I need a regime change country, don't I? And this is a thing. I'm hard now. I could carry out a regime change. I mean, the only place I can do it is in Afghanistan, where there's a dozen cells or so. Yeah, I mean, is this going to go this turn, though, Grant? It's probably not, isn't it? Because I thought I could keep NATO for when Pakistan gets taken, but there's nothing I could do in Pakistan, is there? I don't think so. I mean, you're up against a -3 to start with. So, I mean, all I'd be able to do, and you can remove the cadre, but no, you can't. I would need troops in there, so I'd need to get to ally first, which is a war of ideas roll. Yeah, I mean, with a -3, I've not got an adjacent good. Yeah, I think I was thinking the Gulf States had the option before they got these 2 reaction markers in here and maybe have a go at getting the Gulf States good. And I think that would have been a better play. I'm not quite sure I had the chance or not. It's just the Gulf States is adjacent to quite a lot. Having a good ally as the Gulf States would have been really good. You know, you're giving +1s to any the War of Ideas rolls to anything adjacent to it. So yeah, I mean, for me to do that, I really need to get awakening markers in their smartphones. I need to target the country first, to put in an awakening marker in there. But if a country was subject to an event or operation in this or last action phase, could I carry out an operation there first? mean, I could foolishly attempt a war of ideas in there. And I'd be rolling on a -4 at the moment. So I suppose that would still target it. Right, it would be subject for an operation. Then I could play smartphones to put 1 awakening marker in there. That seems a bit weak. Yeah, well, is there anything I can do? I mean, I know before that was like, it was hopeless. What are they going to do in Pakistan? Yeah, they're going to start travelling cells, aren't they? Oh no, hold on. They didn't, did they? They attempted to travel to Morocco. So that's still going to continue, isn't it? The problem is, I really need 2 awakening markers in there to stop them from producing more, don't I? Even getting 1 awakening marker in there, they're still going to produce a new one at the end of the turn, because they're going to have a difference of 2. I don't think I've got any other cards that's going to give me another awakening marker. The only one I've got is smartphones, I think. So it kind of feels like I've just got to give up in Pakistan. Pakistan's just going to sit there, and the end of this turn, it's going to go like that. The end of the next turn, it's going to go poor. The end of the next turn, it's going to go Islamist rule. So that's a good bit away. So, I mean, I can't keep NATO for that. Well, you could, but you're definitely wanting to discard one of your jihadist cards, so you're not going to be able to keep NATO. So my guess is NATO's going to be a 3-ops card. I mean, unless I go and regime change Afghanistan. Okay, I didn't want to press record and do all this thinking and like, what am I going to do here? Because, yeah, like I say, I didn't think I was going to have a chance to play the night, and then I thought, which I was fine about because I knew the situation, but I have got the chance to have a shot, so I want to do something. First of all, a couple of things. This, I've just went and asked a question on this on BGG, because I'm not sure how this works. We've got sequestration in play, which is holding our 3 troops there, hostage if you like, the cards there. I mean, it clearly says immediately end sequestration. Now, I get the feeling, and see the then play of 6+ troops on track. See that bit there? That is the bit that's in the darker text. That is the bit that's a condition to make this event playable. Okay? So what I actually think is, I can play this for the event, right? I mean, this is why I went and asked the question on BGG, because I'm not that sure about this. This is the first card I've came across that looks like it deals with things this way. So I feel like I can play this for the... I mean, I'm saying for the event. I don't think that's the right term, because I'm not able to carry out the event. So, but I think I'm allowed to play this, not for the ops, but... so if it's not for the ops, it's for the event. And then immediately end sequestration, put my troops back on the track, right? And then the next bit says, then play if 6+ troops on track. Well, I'm going to have that. But then it says, if event played, US, even so, must perform a regime change operation in any country in civil war. There's not a country in civil war. So I really don't know how to deal with that. I'm not... The text, to be honest, see the text that says immediately, you might not be able to see this on the card, but to me, it seems a lighter text. Maybe it's not. And then the then play of 6+ troops on track is that sort of darker text, which you'll not see. It was clearer in the original cards, to be honest. It was clearer because it was fainter, wasn't it? This time it's slightly darker. Have I got another card with a precondition on it? Yeah. Smartphones. That play if a country was subject to an event or operation in this or last action phase is a slightly darker, a slightly bolder font. It's not pure bold though. I mean, why they didn't just do it as pure bold, and then it would have been clearer. I don't know, but it's a different font or boldness to the next part of it. It's the sort of same colour as the mark down the bottom, but the mark's bigger. I mean, I don't know why I suppose I'm just trying to understand how you deal with this card, and then I sort of feel like I can play this card even if there's not a civil war, but I mean, initially I didn't think that was the case, and I thought, well, if you've not got a civil war, you can't play this. I mean, that could be the case, and it could be that I can't get the 3 troops back, even though I've got Congress Axe in my hand. It could be that I'm stumped with that, unless a civil war appears, and then I can actually carry out that event. But I also feel like maybe I can just play this, end the sequestration, and then that's all that card is going to do for me because there's no civil war. I guess that's why I asked the question. Anyway, I've got a question lingering out there, so we'll see if something comes back on that, because if it does come back, I probably am better rescuing my troops. Because if Pakistan was to be the next country to fall, it's still not 3. It needs to be 3 resources. That's one of the other conditions. And then one of the other conditions is a WMD. Well, I suppose Pakistan will release the WMDs. But I've already said that if they're just going to sit there and let this tick away, which it looks like they might, then it's going to be 3 turns before this turns Islamist rule. Okay, right, and then the other thing was I got an answer to my question regarding Iran, and can we put awakening / reaction markers in Iran? And of course, like I say, the first reply I got was highlighting the fact that it says that you can't put an awakening / reaction marker in a non-Muslim country, which I had to then reply by saying that Iran is not it's not considered a non-Muslim country. However, it's also not considered a Muslim country, and Zod kindly referred the rule to me and replied, linking the rule in the first part of it on page 3, the same page that's got the discussion about where you can put, where you can't put them. That place a blue awakening or a green reaction marker in a Muslim country's space whenever called for by play of an event. In a Muslim country space. It says it right there. Okay, so I kind of felt like it was out there. That was my reply to Zod. I thought I had a feeling it was going to be staring me right in the face, the rule. But it is right there. Remember, Iran is not a Muslim country. It is not a non-Muslim country, but it's not a Muslim country. So we cannot, while it's on that side, until it gets flipped to its Muslim countryside, or if it gets flipped, it cannot receive an awakening / reaction marker. So good. Thanks for that, Zod. Yeah, I had a feeling that we couldn't do it, and it was going to be in the rules somewhere. Just they can catch you out. Okay, so are you saying there's no really anything you can do in Pakistan then, Grant? I think that's what I'm saying. I can't do War of Ideas. I can't disrupt the cadre either, because it needs to be an ally, or it needs to have troops. I can't deploy troops in there because it needs to be ally. And yeah, I mean, that's all I can really do. I can try a War of Ideas there, but like I've already said, there's a -3 there. Even if I was to get this up to here, you're still sitting -3. That's it. -3 is all I'm getting. Could I turn this good first? Well, this is a -2 against a +2, so that balances that out as a 0. This is a -1. We'd also be trying to attempt to go to good, so that's another -1, that's -2. So again, that doesn't work either. Even if I get that into medium, it's still a -1 because I'm going for good. I think all that's, I mean, you do need to watch the Gulf states. I mean, we've got a balance there, the 2 against 2. And the other thing is, whatever I do here, I could, in the country that I do it, I could play smartphones in that country to get an awakening marker in there. So, I mean, technically you could, well, no, I've already said it's a -2 attempt, because we're trying to go to good. I sort of feel like I need to work on my prestige again, get it back up. Oh, you could do that in the Gulf states, Grant. Remove that cadre. Yeah, I really need to do it twice. I could also do it in Iraq to gain prestige. The other way of gaining prestige is to try and test non-Muslim countries, but we're sitting hard now, so you don't really want to mess with that. Well, you've got Benelux up there. You could try that, I suppose, because that's soft, so there's no harm done. But the roll of that is just a 5 or a 6. You know, it's easier turning them soft. Right. This is just a struggle. So if I worked on my prestige a little bit, I mean, yeah, it'd be great to get up here, but what's the chances of that? You're gonna have, by the time I get up to here, something major's going to happen. We've got loads of horrible cards in our hand that are going to, it's not going to allow me to get up to here. If I moved it up twice and go into medium, removes that -1. We still get the -1 for going to good. So we'd be rolling with a -1, so we'd need a 6, right? However, if I was to still have smartphones at the time, I could try it. Then smartphones, another awakening marker in there. So then we go try War of Ideas again, and we're at a 0. Great. It's nothing brilliant, is it? I need to find out about this Congress Acts. I think what I'd rather do is just forget about. I mean, Gulf States is okay just now, I think. I don't think I need to worry about it too much. And I would probably still like to remove that cadre. I don't know how important that is, though. There is 2 cells in the track now. But right now, if we come down to it, they're going to recruit back in the auto-recruit Afghanistan, Islamic rule Afghanistan, aren't they? Okay, Grant, you've got 18 minutes, you've done nothing. Congress Acts, I need to find out. I'm sort of delaying a bit to find, hopefully somebody is. Thing is, I'm not been getting quick answers in this game. The few guys that are answering are the few guys that have been watching the playthrough and that, so not that I'm saying they don't know their stuff, like, it's just that I love when somebody answers a question and links me the rule in the rule book, and I look at the rule and say, well, you can't argue with that, there's no debate about it, that's fine. And I'm pretty sure somebody will understand how that's meant to be, and I searched for it on BGG and there's not really an awful lot regarding this card. I'm quite surprised, to be honest, but anyway. Okay, I think I'm going to go and do this. I think I'm going to go and do that. I've got horrible cards to play, and I know, and it's too much for me to look at all these and work out what the best thing. I remember I was doing it last night, and that's why I'm 19 minutes in here now. Okay, I was talking about some other stuff, but I have been sort of looking back here and wondering, I've got to play some of these events. I mean, I can balance some of it off because I'm getting 3 ops here, 2 ops here, 2 ops here, whatever, Right, let's go for what the problem is that if I play Pirates in Algeria, Tunisia, however, hang on a second here, Grant. If you fail, I mean, I'd rather not fail. What was I going to get there? I'm going to get -1, -2, -3 because I'm going to good. +3 cancels it out, but adjacent good. We're going to get a +1, that's right. If I was to fail there, I could then play smartphones in Algeria, Tunisia, bumping that up to 4 awakening markers. In the turn, that automatically becomes good. And remember, when you get a country good, you also scatter another marker across in, is it random Shia mixed country? So one of the ones that are more important across here, you might get lucky. I might get lucky and hit Pakistan. Nah, I need 2 in Pakistan, don't I? Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. Yeah, we were loving it for a while. We had all the awakening markers, and then now all of a sudden, there's all the reaction markers have come along. And I've got a bunch of horrible cards. Okay, I'm worried there's some other simple good things that I could be doing right now, but let's just do this, okay? Right, I'm going to play Pirates. Now, it says play if Somalia or Yemen is poor an adversary or Islamist rule. They're Somalia, there's Yemen. They haven't even been tested yet, so they're not poor adversary or Islamist rule. So it's an unplayable event, so we're just going to get it for the 2 ops. And I'm going to attempt a war of ideas in Algeria, Tunisia. So we've got, I mean, we know what we're doing here. I'm not going to look at that game. I showed you that already. Even if, I did. So we are attempting to shift to good because it's an ally, it's fair ally. So we are attempting to shift to good. We got a -1 for that. We got a -1 for that. We got a -1 for that. Attempting to shift to good. There's no penalty, global war on terror, so that's fine. Prestige is at -1. We got a -1 for that, so that's -2. There's no aid. We get a +1 for adjacent good ally. So we've got sitting with a -1. We then add the reaction marker, that's -2. We then add the awakening markers. So that takes it to a +1. Yeah? Okay, let's do it. We're going to do it. +1. And I'd rather this just worked, and then I could keep smartphones for somewhere else, clearly. So with a +1, remember a success is a 5 or a 6. So we need a 4 or better here. Come on. Oh man. See, I think that's now going to force me to play the smartphones in Algeria, Tunisia, isn't it? Right, well that's a big fail. And if I'd got an aid marker, I mean, if I'd rolled a 3 +1 to turn it into a 4, then I might have been happier with that. So now we have this. Algeria, Tunisia has been subject to an operation this turn. This phase, sorry. There was nothing in the previous phase, was there? Yeah, I mean, I looked at that last night. I think it was Afghanistan, and it was targeted. What else was targeted? It was something that I couldn't put this into, wasn't it? I think there was 2 countries targeted in the jihad. You know what? I'm not going to look back. I just remember there was no targets. There was nothing we could do. But we could play this right now and target Algeria, Tunisia to place 1 awakening marker on there. Allows to play Facebook. The other sort of annoying thing, I mean, I still get the feeling there's only 1 Facebook card and it's away. It was a good card though, wasn't it? So you could maybe have brought it back. It's just we've got censorship in our hand, but I really don't want to play that. But you're going to have to play some of these 4 horrible cards. So if I'd let this play first, then I would be able to play smartphones to remove the blockage of Facebook. But obviously, if I play my smartphones now, then that's not going to be. And we've got a smartphones marker up there, allows Facebook, unless it is possible that I keep censorship as the last card and don't play it. Maybe. I mean, this would be quite strong, because this would then make that 4 awakening markers to 1 reaction marker, which would turn this good at the end of the turn. I think I'm just going to do it. Yeah. Yeah, let's just do it. I do want to move on and just try and get through this hand. So I'm going to play smartphones for the event. Right, let's have a look at the event. I may have played one of these already. Huh? So you can see there's 211, 213. Could we be cheeky and look at Facebook? I mean, to be honest, you guys that have played the game before, I'll know how many of these cards there are. I could just find Facebook in here and it would tell me how many there was, wouldn't it? Smartphones. The preponderance of cell phones across the globe means that nearly any public event will be captured on video and can be spun on the web to suit political agendas the very same day. Marrying up this technology with social media, cards 153 to 154, provides an even stronger level of communication and focused organisation. Social media. Yeah, I can't recall if I've seen that or not. Oh, there's 2 of them. Okay. I just looked, there is 2 Facebook cards. Okay. I'm losing one go by. Well, that's kind of annoying. Well, we might not play censorship, I suppose. So, Right, anyway, smartphones. A camera in every pocket. Play of a country was subject to an event or operation this or last action phase. Yes, Algeria, Tunisia was subject to an operation this action phase. We're going to place a 1 awakening marker in there, and then we can mark the smartphones. However, there's no need, because smartphones is already up there allowing Facebook. So, but we are going to do that, which is good. Yeah, okay. I don't know how many smartphones I went by as well. I feel like that's definitely 2 of them. Again, you could look at the discard pile, but I'm pretty sure there's only 1 Facebook card went by, and it looked quite a good card, so. Okay, never mind. Right, let's move on. So that was, that was 2 of the cards that weren't doing anything bad. We've got these 4 cards now to deal with. We can avoid one of them, but at least I suppose that's got rid of one that was, well, that Pirates was unplayable. We knew that anyway, so we played the easy card, get out of the way. Right, so that's our 2 card plays. This would mark, but it's already marked anyway. This was not played for the event, so yeah, that's right. I couldn't be played. Yeah. Okay, so just discard, yeah. I know some of them I got caught with before where they were actually playable but done nothing. So if it was mark and remove, you would remove it. Well, actually, that would mark something as well, wouldn't it? Anyway, right. Well, let's get a little bit more, because I'd like to create a part here, but I'm just cringing about what I'm going to do next. Well, let's see what they do first. Change of state. Right, 2 options. You had this card. Play in a tested Shia mixed country, Jordan or Morocco, and not a good Islam show, civil war or regime change. Remove all pieces and markers. No. Oh, Morocco's that good. Jordan, I don't. Hang on, let me 176. Let's just look there first. Right, there is something. Right. If none, treat as... Right, let's read this again. So, play in a tested Shia mixed country, Jordan or Morocco. Oh, hang on, that's a comma. Ah, ooh, this could be horrible. Right, because Jordan and Morocco are not Shia mixed, they're Sunni. But they're two, it's either a tested Shia mixed country or Jordan or Morocco. And not at good Islamist rule, civil war, or regime change. Okay. So looking at just, I mean, there's quite a few tested Shia mixed countries, but Jordan hasn't been tested, but you can see it's Sunni. That's what kind of threw me at first, because I thought it had to be a Shia mix, but it's not. And Morocco is, and I was panicking there because that's good, but it does say, it will look at them two Sunni countries and all the Shia mixed countries that have been tested. So it's between one of them. It needs to be not good. So that rules Morocco out. Jordan. Well, Jordan here could still be a target because it doesn't say that the two Sunni countries here need to be tested. But then there's no markers in there, so there's nothing in there, so it's going to do nothing. And then Jordan or Morocco, and not a good, that's what rules Morocco out. Which, if it needs to be tested, because I was going to say it returns it to unmarked status. So if it was targeting Morocco, that good would just go away. That'd be horrible. So, but not at good Islamist rule, so we can't target Afghanistan with that. Civil war, there's none of that. Regime change, there's none of that. Remove all pieces and markers, return to unmarked status. I mean, you've got to figure it's going to pick something that's going to suit it. So there is a couple instructions. So a tested Shia mixed country, or Jordan or Morocco, not good, right? Jordan and Morocco are out. Tested Shia mixed country, well, Islamist rule is out as well. So Pakistan, Gulf states, Iraq, Saudi Arabia, Turkey. That's the targets. So looking at them, if they removed that, that's good for me. If they removed all that, it's not terrible. Actually, Hammer, I noticed one of the comments he made just recently about part 5 I just released. Suggestion about the troops going back and maybe getting 9 cards. So these 2 troops going back would actually move me into low intensity and enable me to get 9 cards next turn. So that wouldn't be terrible. Removing everything in there would be a similar result. However, that's a fair ally country. Remember, it's just getting removed. Yeah. Remove all pieces and markers. Return to unmarked status. Pakistan, well, I'd love them to just target Pakistan because all their reaction markers would go. And then Saudi Arabia is where we've got the one away kind of markers. So tends to make you think that they might be targeting something more beneficial to them, wouldn't it? Okay, well, there is an event instruction. I didn't. Let's have a look at that now. Right, 176. Right, change of state. So it's going to look for a fair ally with highest resource. And within that, priority to no troops. Right, so it's no way send the troops back. And then, if none, treat as unplayable. So it's wanting the fair ally with the highest troops. With the highest resource that's not got troops. Well, the priority is no troops. Okay, let's see where our targets are. Right, so I've marked them all with a green cube. Right, so it's either a tested Shia mixed country, tested, Sheamax, tested Sheamax, tested Sheamax, tested Sheamax, tested Sheamax, tested Sheamax, or Jordan or Morocco, right? Right, playing a tested Sheamax country, Jordan, Morocco, and not that good. Right, that's Morocco out. Islamist rule, that's Afghanistan out. Civil war or regime change is none of them. Remove all PC markers. Right, okay, so they're the ones that we've got left, and then within them, the event instruction wants to target a fair ally with highest resource. So where are the fair allies? That's not been tested. That's a poor neutral. That's a poor ally. Gulf states in it. Saudi Arabia, and this is Pakistan as fair neutral. So I think it's going to be Gulf states. But that does have troops. I think that's a priority though, because it says fair ally with highest resource. Well, I mean, it's a 3 as well, but I mean, that's the only fair ally country. Algeria, Tunisia wasn't an option, which is the other fair ally country we've got. Pakistan's fair neutral. So, yeah. So, fair ally with highest resource, it's a 3. And then if there was more than one, you've got to assume that if there was more than one of them, then the priority is the one that's got no troops. And then if there's none, if there's no fair allies, treat as unplayable. Yeah, because this is going to wreck us. That's why it's saying fair ally, isn't it? Because I mean, right now, if you're playing this card, it's up to you what you target. I couldn't target Morocco because it was good. I mean, you could target Jordan, but it's not going to do anything, right? If you're playing it as a player. So, and then you can't target Afghanistan. So, what would you target amongst them? You know, you wouldn't target Turkey there and remove that reaction marker, would you? I mean, this has got an awakening marker, but it's poor. It's a poor neutral country as well. Yeah, makes total sense, doesn't it? So it's going to remove all pieces and markers and return to unmarked status. Well, all pieces and markers. I know I didn't really want to target the one with troops because that gives us 2 troops back. Okay, so these are all going away. Hang on. We're playing this event. Let's see what it says. Okay, so 176, change of state. The death or change of heads of state or a vote of no confidence in Parliament will often lead to a resetting of the political agendas within a country and a reassessment of external relations. So yes, it's a playable jihadist event. Change of state, monarch dies or parliamentary vote of no confidence. Playing a tested Shia mixed country, Jordan or Morocco. And not a good Islamist rule, civil war, regime change. Remove all PCs and markers. Return to unmarked status. Yuck. Well, I don't know. Was that the worst choice for us? I mean, the fact it's a fair ally. So this comes away because it's unmarked. Let's just have a quick adjustment to that then. That goes down to 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh yeah, that looks right. And then, well, cadre must come away. It's a marker. Then I think that's okay. Reaction markers come away and awakening markers. So we were balanced out with them. We might have got lucky with that one actually and scored out of that one. But yeah, it's just my little cube. And then the troops come away and go back to the track. Now the good thing about that is, like I pointed out, That's just now got another 5 in there, so that actually moves into low intensity. And we are going to get to draw 9 cards next turn, assuming that stays the same, however. Well, I mean, it's possible. Right, and then Gulf States is just left as it is. Nothing doing. Yeah, I mean, it was a fair ally. And to be honest, we were, even though it was at one point it was a much better position, because I think we had 2 markers in there before they even got 1, didn't they? Awakening markers. However, that's all gone now. So yeah, it was bad. Maybe it could have been worse, but I don't know. It's still pretty bad. Right, that's our first card. Let's get another card. Now, let's have a look at our card first before we go and check the computer, see if I've got an answer to this Congress Acts. I'm sure some of you out there are willing to quite shout and tell me right now, but it doesn't work that way, does it? Right, so this is a 1-ops unassociated event, so if we play this for event, they're going to get 1 reserve, remember? Kinder, gentler. If troops in overstretch, well, no. Well, it wasn't that long ago we were in overstretch, but now we're in low intensity. They're not going to play this. Right, because if troops in overstretch, they would get +1 funding and -1 air prestige. If troops at low intensity, which is where we are, it's going to be -1 funding and +1 prestige. So, yeah, I know for a fact that this one's going to say, it's unplayable, 208, kind of gentler, treat as unplayable unless troops in overstretch. Right, yeah. Troops are not in overstretch, so it's unplayable. They're just using it for the 1-ops, okay? Right, and so just 1-ops, there's no reserves. I'm not sure well, there's 2 cells on the track that are recruitable, so maybe one of them is going to come into Afghanistan again. Quite possibly. Well, let's see for sure. Yeah, the only other cells in Iraq, poor Iraq, and Gulf States has just got wiped out there, but it's not relevant to, probably not relevant to what we're about to do. So is it a playable non-use event? No. 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 Sorry. I already said no to that. That was the one I was labeling for. No. Fund and moderate, no. Sell available, yes. Recruit. Pumas on 1 to 4 cells, no. If recruit, auto recruit, well, Islamist rule is the last option, but yeah, just pausing there. But yeah, I mean, this is 1 cell to 2 troops, so it's not 1 to 4 more cells and troops. Yeah, so just going to auto recruit 1 cell into Afghanistan as well. Yeah, pretty sure it's a bit, maybe not the best play, but yeah, we're struggling again anyway. It's not as bad as it was before anyway. Right, these 2 cards both played, just got discarded. That's their turn. That action phase over for them. They've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards left. We've got 6. We're next to play with all our lovely juicy cards that are still all playable. Well, they're all playable. I'm not sure about this. In actual fact, NATO's not playable, is it? Country needs to have a regime change. I mean, like I say, we could potentially do that in Afghanistan, but that seems silly. I mean, yeah, I don't need to put 6, I could put 10 troops into Afghanistan to balance it out, but how many have they got now? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 13. So they'd still have 3 more, so they'd still have the 1 to 4 more troops and cells, cells and troops, and they'd just be trying to pile it in there again. I'm just going to use NATO for 3 ops and do something else. Not quite sure what. That was annoying. That was one of our prestige. You could disrupt there, I suppose. We know we now don't need to bother about Algeria, Tunisia, hope and keep our fingers crossed, like, I suppose. Right, let's go and see if I've got an answer to this Congress Acts. Because I kind of need to know. If not, what am I going to play next? I can only ditch one of these. Mine is 2 prestige. My prestige is at 2, so it goes down to 1. Set Russia and Germany opposite the US. Yeah, I've spoken about this before. So Germany and Russia would be soft. This would go down to here. Which takes away at the end of the turn, we're now going to lose another prestige. We're not going to gain it back with this being at 3. But, you know. Al-Maliki. Remove all troops from a jihadist poor designated country with troops. Oh. Did I consider this before? If I move my troops out of Iraq, that'll be unplayable. Remove all troops from a jihadist poor designated country with troops. I mean, yeah. It doesn't do anything. To be honest, this is one of the events I was just talking about. I think this card would get removed. Because this bit that says remove all troops from a jihadist player designated country with troops isn't a condition for the event to be played, is it? No, it's not sort of got the that sort of different text anyway. No. Set alignment to neutral and place an aid marker, remove any regime change marker. Other markers / pieces remain. Ooh. So, how about... Can we try and disrupt in Iraq? I mean, I've already said that NATO card's probably not in use. Wait now. Let's look at the last 2 cards. So it looks like we could maybe dodge this one. If we get rid of the 2 troops out of Iraq, it makes it do nothing. Censorship, remove up to 2 awakened markers from a single country. Well, that may be different now. In fact, that may be worse now. That might be Algeria, Tunisia now. Because I think, was it not targeting the Gulf states before? I think we worked out. I get the feeling it'll be there. Because, well, that's the only one that we've got more than one. That's not necessarily what they'll do, though, Grant, because I think I said that before. In fact, it might be Saudi Arabia. Remove up to 2 awakening markers from a single country. Box the play of Facebook. Yeah. We kind of really weren't wanting that to happen either, though, were we? Right, okay. And then finally, Boston Marathon, roll yes posture, yuck. +1 funding, yuck. Roll posture for Caucasus, well, I've got to play some of these. Okay, let's see where censorship's going to target now. Again, I know it feels a little gamey, but there's nothing in the 175. No, there's nothing there. So we know it wants to target using the jihad column of the priorities table. So it would target Pakistan unless no arsenal. No. It's looking for awakening markers. Baziz regime, no. Syria, no. With aid, no. Regime change, less no troops, no. Highest resource. I think it was that's why it was between the Gulf states and Saudi Arabia. That gets out. That means we dodge Algeria, Tunisia. And yeah, this is gamey, but what can you do? It's there. It's the information's there. I think that's what all these games, same with the coin games that sort of followed on for this, isn't it? You can work out exactly what the bot's going to do, aren't you? Or did the newer bots not make it a little bit different, a bit trickier, a bit more random, that you couldn't sort of work it out? Maybe that's the case. Well, this is a newer bot than the original as well, but so highest resource, it would be Saudi Arabia, yeah. Saudi Arabia is the only one that's got. So in actual fact, I'm annoyed now though, because I played that smartphones. So censorship would, I think, remove this awakening marker, which isn't awful, and then it would block Facebook. So 2 potential cards here that we could sort of dodge most of. I mean, both of these are sort of bad. I don't know. Well, we need to get the troops out of Iraq for this to make this unplayable as well. But I could use the NATO card. Well, no, I was thinking about trying to do a disrupt here first, but you'd have to do 2 disrupts. Well, see if that Congress Acts card doesn't work. Oh no, hang on. Al-Maliki? No, I can't use that. So that removes the troops. Set alignment to neutral, place an aid marker. Oh, hold on here. Hold on, let's look at Al-Maliki again. If you're wanting to, all it's doing is removing your troops. I mean, don't get me wrong. 185. Select an ally, then neutral country using jihad priorities table. Well, Iraq is ally. So remove all troops. It would remove the troops from Iraq. Then it would set it to neutral. So we would lose an alignment. But we would place an aid marker. Yeah, I mean, why move your troops back to the track to avoid playing this so grand? The only thing you're going to avoid is, if I'd done it that way, is I'm going to avoid that from happening. Which, I don't know, is that extra important? Okay, I can start seeing a way through it, I think. The censorship would only remove this. Al-Maliki would put the aim back to the track, do that. But I mean, I could spend 2. In fact, I could spend NATO to disrupt here, then spend Al-Maliki, play the ops first to remove that, and that's 2 prestige. That's not bad. Then allow Maliki to go off. They would still have a cadre there. These would go away, and then that would go that like that. That's not maybe as bad as I was thinking. And then, like I said, censorship's going to remove that at the moment anyway. And then we've got to decide between Snowden and Boston Marathon. Well, before you start boosting your prestige there, Grant, you might want to make that decision, because Snowden's giving you a -2 to your prestige. And these are sort of like, one's as bad as the other, isn't it? This is a roll for you as posture. And this is messing about with the posture, but also -2 prestige. And just what I've talked about, I could actually get my prestige up to 4. Well, then you definitely have to leave the Snowden card to ditch, wouldn't you, and play Boston Marathon, which rolls our posture and we might go soft. Funding goes up as well. Oh man. Right, okay, so still no answer to my question on Congress Acts. I mean, I think the best the best I'm going to get out of it is playing this and putting my troops back on the track. I mean, none of the other stuff's going to matter. But I mean, if that's not how it works at all, then I'm just going to have to use it for 3 ops. I can't try and keep the cards. I'm just going to have to accept. I mean, we do have all our troops are going. All the other troops are going back to the track anyway. So, oh yeah, I forgot. I don't need to. Well, hang on, Grant. You could avoid. Yeah, but then you need to carry out an operation to move your troops back to the track, don't you? So you're spending an operation to move them back. Is that worthy to keep that poor ally rather than have it a poor neutral? To spend that extra card? I don't know. Okay, let's do... I would kind of like to remove that cell before they go back. I don't know why. Well, it gives you a boost to your prestige. Well, that means that you're leaving Snowdon behind then, aren't you? And you're going to have to suffer the Boston Marathon card. Roll US posture, +1 fun down, roll posture for caucuses. They're both horrible. I played Snowdon first. Before that, our prestige then goes to 1. I can boost it back up to 3 only. Before the troops go away. That's the Boston Marathon card's annoying for... All the 3 things are quite annoying. I can't make my mind up if which one's the worst. I mean, if we roll the posture and we stay hard, then they get +1 fun then. Okay, they go back up to 8. Right now they're sitting at 7. If they didn't get a boost to their fun down at all the rest of this turn, they're going to drop down to 6 and only get 8 cards, and we're actually going to get 9 if nothing changes that way, which feels kind of good. Set Russia and German opposite US. Yeah, that's the other thing, Grant. You've got an Islamist ruled country, so you're going to take a hit to your prestige anyway. Oh, God. So this would take it... Sorry, I know I seem to be going over this. This takes it to 1. Then we set Russia, and that goes down to that. Then end of the turn. No, sorry, hang on. So I put that back, or right, I've not moved that. Right, so that would take it to 1, and then if we disrupt twice, takes up to 3, and then it's going to drop back down to 2 again anyway. The end of the turn. We're not going to get out of the low. I don't think we're going to get out of low anyway. Even if we get into 4. If I don't play the Snowdon card, I could get up to medium. And we're going to have to play the Boston Marathon card. I mean, the caucuses is a roll for posture, so there's a chance that's better. But it's the roll US posture that's maybe the problem. No, I can't make my mind up here what to do. I knew this was going to be a challenging hand when I seen it. That's why I wasn't I wasn't too fussed. In fact, I've got another game set up behind me here that I just set up to muck about with. I had to show it, and I was actually just going to sit there, but I thought, well, you're going to have to deal with this if you're going to move on. So, well, okay, I think I've come to a decision. I'm going to play these 3 cards. I'm going to not play Snowden. So, I mean, we've looked at these both, so fine, we can sort of deal with it. Although, I don't think I'm going to play this phase, so there's a risk that it might want to target another country. I don't think it will. That will change. Oh yeah, that's, I never said, when I was paused there, there's 2 Facebook cards and 3 smartphone cards. We've discarded 1 Facebook card and 2 smartphone cards. So there isn't our smartphones to come, and on our Facebook. So there is a chance that we might be able to, unblock the censorship, if you like. Yeah, and I think I'm going to have to do this. So I'm just wondering, should I do this as soon as possible, or does it matter, or... Ugh. Okay, right. I'm going to play this. I'm going to play this for the ops. So 3 ops. I'm going to disrupt in Iraq. Right? It cost me 3 ops. Have we done disrupt? Maybe just a quick look, just in case we're not done in this playthrough. So the purpose is remove cells or cadre, gain prestige. Target non-Muslim country, not Iran. Ally or country with at least 2 troops. Well, it's an ally. It's got 2 troops as well. But the 2 troops is important because the special is it will affect 1 cell, but if target country's posture is hard, it affects 2 cells. And if there's 2 troops, it affects 2 cells, and we get a boost to our prestige. So as soon as I do this, I'm committed to not playing Snowden, or it's a waste. Yeah, okay. So, affected cells go active, or if already active, are removed. If no cells, remove cadre. If last cell, remove place cadre. Yeah, it's annoying. It'd been so much better if this had been an active cell, but it's not, Grant. So we can actually affect 2 cells. There's only 1 there. Yeah, that sort of feels weak, but right. So it's the 3. I need 3 ops to play it. And that's why NATO's 3 ops. All I'm doing is turning that active and gaining a prestige. Something feels wrong about that, but I just wonder about Algeria, Tunisia again. But I mean, that's fine as long as they don't do anything. Yeah, just plod on, Grant, I think. And because I don't know about Congress acts, I might. No, let's just deal with this. Let's just do Al-Maliki then. So my next card, I'm going to play this for the ops, obviously. It's a jihadist event. I think the fact it places an aid marker has swayed me towards just playing it for the event, rather than moving the troops out and making it unplayable. I don't know. Maybe you do it differently yourself, but so I'm playing for I'm wanting the ops first, so it's 3 ops, and basically I'm just going to repeat what I've done here. So 3 ops, I'm going to disrupt in Iraq. That's going to remove that last cell back to the track. However, it's going to leave a cadre. Right, wait now. Let's rethink that. Because, I mean, if that Congress Act's... Yeah, hold on here. Let me backtrack here. Let's take this back. This is where I definitely need to find out about Congress Acts. Because if I can't use this at all, I play this for 3 ops and do what I've just done there. Remove that, leave the cadre, right? And then my next action phase, I play Al-Maliki to disrupt the cadre out of Iraq, giving myself another prestige, and then letting them send the troops back to the track. That makes more sense. If I find out that Congress Acts does actually help me out though, and give me my 3 troops back, I mean, none of this is going to happen. See, I suppose I was wondering, do this, and who knows, you might end up with civil war after they play their next 2 cards. Okay. Right, I think I need... Well, I'm at an hour and 6 minutes there, and it's been a sluggish episode again. But it's been a tough hand to try and deal with, I think. But we're getting there. I think I need to find out about this Congress Acts for sure. Because if I can only play it for ops, it makes more sense doing what I've just said here. And keeping Al-Maliki for my next operations, my next phase. More than likely play Al-Maliki to disrupt the cadre in Iraq, and either do this or this. We'll see what they do. We'll see what they do first. That might change my mind. Right, a quick look. See if I've got a reply. It's probably unlikely, and then I'll wrap this up. Right, okay, I did get a response to my question from Zod again, regarding Congress Acts, right? About just how this card works. And then he explains it as that there's 2... the way he explains it is there's a first action and a second action, which, yeah, sort of makes some sense, and kind of how... Well, what he's saying is that we play this card and this immediately ends sequestration. Then you look at the second part, which is kind of... It kind of makes sense, because then play F6 plus troops on the track, so there's a condition there. We've got that. And then if event played, it's just a bit... I mean, come on, it's not... Is it just me that finds that a wee bit... I'm surprised nobody's questioned this card on BGG before. So, I mean, that makes me feel like it is just me, yeah? But anyway, his thinking is that there's 2 parts to it. The first one, when you play it, immediately ends sequestration. See, the thing for me is, you play this for an event or for the 3 ops, right? So if I'm choosing not to play this for the 3 ops, it's a US card, I'm the US player. So I'm choosing not to play that. I'm playing this event. So it immediately ends sequestration. Okay, we deal with that, put our troops back. And then the next bit is not going to trigger for us. We do have 6 troops on the track, yes. And if event played, see, that just feels horrible the way it's... Yeah, I don't like the way it's all worded. But anyway, I mean, I think I came to the same conclusion as what he did, but I think he sees it easier than me, and maybe others do too. So if event played, US, even if soft, must perform a regime change operation in any country in civil war, remove civil war marker there. Right, well, no civil war. We do have 6 troops on the track, but we need 6 troops on the track and a civil war for this second part. And he splits into two actions. He calls this the first action and then the second action. I mean, I think just his words and his term of how to look at it, which is fair enough, but I mean, I've said, is that clear in the rules? First action, second action, do you do this? And even when you look at the text on that immediately ends sequestration, all the text is different. Yeah, you know what? It's indifferent. This is a condition. See this then play if 6 plus troops on the track. It's in that boldness, slightly different boldness from the rest of the text, which says that that's a condition to play it. Well, we've got 6 troops on the track, but to be honest, you need a civil war country as well, so that's kind of a precondition as well. So, it's, I don't know, I find that all a bit a muddle. He referred me to 6.2.4, is it? Yeah. The rule he refers is here. When an event occurs, implement whatever aspects apply, including mark and remove, even if other aspects do not. So, okay, I mean, that's sort of true of this card. We can immediately end sequestration. We do have 6 plus troops on the track. It's just like, and the rules initially say that there's the condition to play the event is, it gives you a condition to play it. This one starts with immediately ends sequestration. Then if you've got 6 plus troops on the track, well, I do. Then we've got to do it in a civil war country. We've not got one. It's a bit confusing, isn't it? I think that's, I don't know. Again, maybe just me. Right, well, the thing is, that's how I sort of feel like the card should go, that I can play that card and basically put these troops back on the track, get rid of this sequestration card. We've cancelled that out, and then that's all that's going to happen with the card. So I can do it for that, or I could just do it for the 3 ops and do this situation there and leave my 3 troops on the track. Remember, this card's then gone. So the only way of getting my 3 troops back again are a WMD going off or a 3 resource country becoming Islamist rule. So it sort of feels like you should rescue your troops, but that does then mean I kind of have to play this. How was I going to go? Yeah, I'm going to leave the cadre. You know what? So what? We'll leave a cadre. Well, leaving a cadre behind, but there's no troops. The troops are going to have to go away. That's a problem, eh? Right, okay. This video's long enough and I've run out of time, so I'm going to just ponder on that for a little while and come back and play my second card. That's just my first card play. So yeah, that was a long part for... I had a feeling that, again, like I say, I just wasn't too keen on playing this hand out. But we're getting there. And we've got an answer. We've at least got an answer to this as well. So, and it sounds fair enough. Although, I don't know. I think some of the text, you can see that there's not space to put much more on that card, text-wise. Yeah, I don't know. But there's nobody else has asked this question, Grant, so everybody's comfortable with it. Okay. Right, I'll be back, I don't know about the next couple of days. Work's getting a bit iffy. Getting close to Christmas as well, so Christmas week. So, yeah, I'll be back when I can. Cheers.